Hey Bookworms, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. It's Sam and today we are doing my February wrap up and my March TBR. So I asked over on my Bookstagram if you guys would like me to do my TBR and my wrap-ups together, meaning there's an extra space for an extra video each month, or if you'd like me to keep them separate, and most of you voted for me to do them together. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to see what it's like to do this video together, and we're going to do it a couple times and see if it works. Make sure you guys follow me over my Bookstagram because I do ask questions over there, and I also update you if the video is going to be late or stuff like that really. So we're going to start off by doing my wrap up and then we will move over to my TBR. I have got a fun little way of doing it today, as I will for the next couple months. So before we do actually jump into the wrap up, I will explain that my TBR game is being put on hold until I can get this rod. It just makes it easier to film above because I don't have that equipment to do that yet, so it just takes forever. So once I've got that, we go back to my TBR game, but like I said, in the meantime I have loads of fun ways of choosing my TBR for that month. So now let's go into the books that I read for February. I ended up reading 6 books and I think I only read 3 of the books that I chose for my TBR, and I forgot that February was a really short month, so that was my mistake. But I ended up having a pretty decent reading month. So I had 5 4-star and 1 5-star, which to be fair I think is a pretty decent month for me. Come on, like I didn't have anything under a 4-star, so I'm really happy for that. And I had no DNS, so yay. So let's start off with the first book. This is in no particular order, by the way, just from what's on top. So I ended up reading My Contrary Mary. I ended up replacing this one with this one, Skyday, for books I'm afraid to read from. And honestly, the reason why I was afraid to read this one is because I'm kind of like a bit of a geek when it comes to history, like things told the exact way. I'm kind of annoyingly always correcting people if they're saying it wrong because it just bugs me so much. Mary Stuart, which is Mary Queen of Scots, is someone's story that I know pretty wow, like I know it in detail. So I've studied her story, watched documentaries, watched the TV show. I know her story. So yeah, and I'm getting to go to Edinburgh by way this year, to go to Edinburgh Castle. Well, it's not literally the only reason we're going, but like, you know. This book we follow Mary Queen of Scots, except it's not the exact details in history. Things are changed around. It's a fancy sort of retelling of Mary Queen of Scots with a happier ending. So you don't go into this book to take it seriously because, like I said, it isn't exact details. For example, they talk about Titanic in here, and Titanic hadn't even happened. But one of the biggest things, kind of odd and probably shouldn't work, is that Mary can turn into a mouse. So we have these things called Edions, I'm probably saying that wrong, and these people can shapeshift into animals, and then you have like the normal people who can't do that. So Mary is basically hiding the fact that she can turn into a mouse, and it really should not work. And when I first heard about this, I was like, why am I buying this? This is not my sort of book. I'm not going to enjoy this. Oh my god, I loved every single second of it. I do want to get the other 2 books in the series, My Plain Jane and My Lady Jane. I'm not interested in My Calamity Jane. But yeah, I do want to get other ones. This is a lot of fun. And I end up giving this book 4 stars because honestly, I laughed out loud so much. I love the story. I love the take they did on it and the twist. And deep down, we were all hoping for a happier ending anyway. And if you guys have watched the TV show Reign, tell me now that you did not want a happy ending for our Queen Mary. So I would highly recommend this book. Even if you're one of those people who don't like things changed, you might still enjoy this. Next up, we have The Ravens. This book was talked about a lot, which is one of the reasons why I got it. For me, witch books can be a hit or miss. I tend to not enjoy witchy books as much, but after reading Nature of Witches and giving that book a 5-star, I think I read that one last month, I decided to read The Ravens. And this book is really fast paced and gets into it pretty quickly. There's a lot that goes on. I was never bored while reading this. I honestly just got into the story really quickly, and I definitely want to read it all. So we follow Scarlett, who is going to school, and she knows she's a witch and she's part of the Ravens, but she wants to become the head president or something because all her family have. And then we have Vivi, who joins the school, but she doesn't know that she's a witch until she's invited to join the Ravens. A lot of stuff happens. There's a lot of secrets and twists. There was one thing that particularly happened in this book that I was like, oh, I kind of guessed that though. And then it turns into a twist that I didn't see coming. So it definitely bumped it up from a 3.5 stars to a 4-star. Because honestly, this is just so much fun. And it's one of those books that would be perfect to read during Halloween time. I am planning to get the sequel. I'll put it up here. I don't know when, but I am going to get it and give it a read. I want to see what's going to happen next. I do feel like though this book would have been fine as a standalone. So I am interested to see what happens with the sequel. Yeah, another good read this month. And did I say it right? gave this one 4 stars. I think I said it. Next up is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I read my first Colleen Hoover book this month. Like, how have I never read a book by Colleen Hoover? Pretty much all of you know what November 9 is about. We follow 2 characters who meet on this one day, and they meet every single day. No. What? They meet every year on the same day. So they only meet on that one day each year, which is November 9. And oh boy, I was not expecting to fall in love with this book as much as I did. It just felt so realistic, and I became so attached to the characters. I don't even want to say too much about this because I don't want to ruin it, but basically we follow Farrellan and Ben. Ben decides he's going to write a book about his and Farrellan's life. There are some twists and turns that happen in this book, and when I say twists and turns, I mean major twists that I did not see coming and actually shocked me, which is something I didn't expect from a romance book to shock me that much. But oh my god, I remember when the twist happened, I physically had to keep reading it until I finished it. This book is just so good and worth all the hype, and I definitely want to read more from this author soon. It was the 5-star read of the month. It deserved it so much, and I would 100% read this book again and recommend it to everyone. It's just, it's just so good. I love Farrellan, I love Ben, I just love everything about this book. Next up we have Finley Donovan Knock 'em Dead, the sequel to Finley Donovan is Killing It. I don't want to say too much about this one just because I don't want to ruin it if you haven't read the first book in the series, but if you haven't, you should definitely check out this series. We follow a character called Finley who gets mistaken as a hitwoman, and in her and her babysitter get involved, and then there's this amazing duo of doing all this stuff that's not great. It's so entertaining, it's funny, it's thrilling, it's got this mystery aspect to it, and this one we follow from how the first book ended. I really enjoy this book. It's still got that comedian side, it's got the perfect duo. We get a bit more Pharaoh, I'm probably saying her name wrong. There's a lot more, there's a lot of twists and turns still in this book. This book still is really good. However, it just did not have that 5-star feel. I didn't feel like the ending was as shocking as the first book was. There was something slightly different with this one compared to the first one, but I still gave this one 4 stars and really enjoyed it, and I'm still going to continue the series because honestly it's written so well, and Finley and Pharaoh are probably 2 of my favourite duos ever, and I just love Finley. I love how we've got this, she's his mother, so you got the normality of her life, and then you've got all this her getting involved in the criminal world, and all this mess with people wanting people dead, and yeah, it's just a big mess, but a good big mess, and I honestly still would recommend this entire series. I was a little disappointed this wasn't a 5-star, but it's fine. I think a 4-star is still good, and I still loved every single second of this book. Next up is Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I will link my reading vlog up here. I won't go too much into detail of how I felt about this one. You can check out my reading vlog for that. But this is, I think, the first book that I read of February, and we follow a character who is on the moon with her mum because her mother has been in prison because she drank this elixir that turned her immortal, but it was meant for her husband, and she's pregnant, but nobody knew she's pregnant, so she's kind of kept her daughter safe. However, something happened and her daughter has to flee the moon so no one can find out about her, but her daughter decides that she wants to learn how to use her powers and be stronger so she can one day free her mother. Yeah, she ends up going to the Celestial Kingdom and training alongside the prince, which his parents are the people who actually imprisoned her mum. This book has so much action. It's got a love twist in it. It's just got drama, action, twist. It's a lot of fun, and this is another book that I cannot wait to read the sequel for. Oh, and I gave it and I also gave this book 4 stars. The final book is the book that I read for my episode 2 of Blind Dates with my book. So if you've not seen that episode yet, I will link that one below as well. Go check it out before I continue so you don't have the book ruined for you. But if you have, then you'll know that book was Count Your Lucky Stars. I was actually not very well when I filmed that reading vlog, so I do apologise if it wasn't the best, but I feel like I still gave you guys good details about it and how I felt. It was non-spoiler like all of my videos are. This book we follow 2 characters called Olivia and Margaret. Or Margaret. I get Margaret? Margaret. They have had this sort of friendship a few years ago, and they had some sort of relationship, but then yeah, it just went wrong and they ended up not seeing each other for 11 years. And then one day Olivia is supposed to be planning Brendan and Annie's wedding from the previous book, and Olivia ends up seeing Margaret, and they end up getting forced into this close proximity sort of relationship thing where Margaret ends up offering Olivia a place to stay because Olivia's flat gets flooded. This book is just funny, it's cute, you guys can check out that reading vlog if you want more of my thoughts on it. But yeah, this is a second chance romance that's got like forced proximity. Not technically forced because Margaret is invited to live there, but still. The only thing is it's got the miscommunication, and that's not one of my favourite things. And I end up giving this book 4 stars, and I do feel like it's probably because of the miscommunication thing, but I do feel like it still works. Like, it's not a bad thing. And yeah, you can definitely read this one as well first if you don't want to read Hanging Moon or Written in Stars. It doesn't really matter, you can read them what order you want. So if you want to check this one out first and you don't want to read the other 2 yet, then yeah, go check it out. But I would definitely recommend Hang the Moon. I can't recommend Written in Stars because I've not read it yet myself. I definitely plan to. But this was my last 4-star read and my final read of February. So that's all the books that I read for February. I only got 6 books read this month, but there was a lot of days where I didn't read. I just kind of took some time off from reading because, again, I haven't been feeling that great and my depression's been a bit bad lately. So yeah, I did take some time off, but I still feel like 6 books is pretty decent. So yeah. So now we're going to move on to my March TBR. And what I've done is somewhat like prompts. I've written books down on these little pieces of paper that I kind of want to read. So it's about 19 books here. I'm going to shuffle them now. I'm going to be picking 6 from here. My partner's going to come and help me, like make sure I'm not cheating. And then I will either go and get the book from the shelf or he will. And yeah, I just thought I'd try something different. Like, so instead of prompts, we got book titles on here. And we got 19 as an option. I'm going to pick 6. There are a bunch of books on here, books that I've been wanting to read, books that I haven't managed to get to, or even books in series that I want to finish. And there are 2 big books on here. So if I get both of them, I can switch one out because I'm not reading 2 massive books in 1 month. Like, that's not happening. I'm going to get Irvin to come over and help now. So one book I am going to quickly mention that I am reading for March is The Island Home. I started this last night and I'm obviously not going to finish it by the end of this month, as we're literally on, I think it's the last day of February tomorrow. So yeah, and that's The Island Home. I'm not that far into this one, so this one is also one that I'm going to be reading during the month of March. And now we're going to jump into the TBR and see what books I'm going to get. Okay guys, so Arthur's going to hold these, so whatever book I pick, he's then going to get it off the shelf and hand it to me, and that'll be the first time I see it. We've got, like I said, 19 book titles here, and yeah, Arthur's basically helping so I can't see what I pick, and then he'll hand me that book. Like I said, if I do get 2 big books, I can switch them out. I'm going to merge you, stop it. I don't know why I'm nervous, because like I did pick like a lot of books I was afraid to read as well, but I'm nervous, but yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pick my first one. He's not going to tell me what it is until he hands it to me.
My name is Sam. I like to eat jam. That's weird.
Shut up! Okay, so again, I'm going to pick one, not look at it. Evan will get it off the shelf for me. Oh my god.
I mean, you have to look at it.
No, I don't.
Oh.
Okay, so now he's going to go get that book off the shelf and then hand it to me.
If you didn't know, Sam can actually read.
I clearly can.
All these decoration. There's no pages in these. What is this?
This could take some time. So. Okay, the first book I picked was Just Haven't Met You Yet, which is a romance. I've never read anything by this author before. So from what I know is that they end up getting the wrong suitcases, and she starts looking through like the suitcase and realising that just by the contents inside the suitcase that this guy could be the lover, like her perfect guy. So she decides to go and track him down so she can return his suitcase to him. Actually not a bad one. Like I'm not disappointed with that one. I'm actually excited. Next one.
Round 2.
Okay, so book 2 is The Bone Cries Moon. I don't know what this is about, guys. So the reason why I really wanted to read this one is because the sequel's out for it, and I want to know if I can go and buy a sequel. So I wanted to get to this one, and yes, this is another series, but like we're gonna throw that rule out because she's clearly not keeping to it. And also, this is just beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, like look. So I'm really, really happy with that one. So let's go on to the third one.
Round 3.
So book number 3 is Okay. So this is actually a newish book. And I've got mixed feelings about this one just because one person kind of like said they didn't enjoy it that much. But you know what? I like the sound of it. It's not that big of a book and it's a thriller. So I'm really glad to have had a thriller added onto this list this month because like I love thrillers. So yeah. Also, it's about a girl whose dad was a serial killer or something. And I think all these murders start happening again. It's got she thought the murders had stopped. She was wrong. So yeah, I'm excited to jump into that one. So for fourth one.
Round 4. Ooh.
Okay, so the fourth book is oh, Rush of Wings. Okay, don't ask me what this is about because
Russian wings.
So I'm not too sure what this one's about. It's about magic and I think her mother being dead, but then she's not dead or something. And it's a fantasy book. You can go and check this out on Goodreads or Amazon if you want to know what it's about. Because I'm kind of going into this one a little bit more like blind. Oh my god, there's something underneath. Oh my god, guys, it's the same fit. Like, oh, she's got her eyes open. Okay, so on the like dust jacket, her eyes are closed, and then when you open it, her eyes are open. That's kind of cool. And this book I've been like thinking about a lot lately. I haven't actually heard many people talk about this one either. So yeah, it's also such a pretty cover. Okay, so for the fifth one.
Round 5.
I'm so nervous. Don't do that! Okay, so for the fifth one. Okay, we've got Girl, Serpent, Fawn. So this one I think I tried to read before, like the first chapter I wasn't in the mood, I was really tired. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
What's it about?
It's kind of like I think she's cursed and she can't ever touch anyone or something like that. It's got there was and there was not. All stories begin a princess cursed to be poisonous to the touch. Soraya, who has lived her life hidden away from everyone apart from her family, safe only in her garden, is not just a story. So it does sound pretty decent, to be fair. For the final one, now I'm going to say final one, but I'll tell you after what I mean. So we're just going to do this one first.
Round 6. Who's picking 2?
You need to take it? Why did you laugh?
Nothing.
Why did he laughed? He knew what that was straight away. Why did he? Okay, so for the final book.
It's a small one.
I got the biggest book on there. I was hoping I was going to get this other big book to finish the series. Okay. Yeah. House of Sky and Breath. The sequel to whatever the other one's called. I'll put it up here. You know what? It's fine. I'm going to read this one. I don't mind. Now, this is where I can do something. But if I do this, it then means I have to give control to Earth and after. So I can switch a book here for any of the books I pick. So I can look at these books and I can switch it. So that's my little rule. Now, the two that I'm thinking about switching, I mean, I've got a few here, which I don't want to switch. Like, I'm really happy with big chunk of one apparently. I'm thinking about switching either Just Haven't Met You Yet, Flicker in the Dark, Girl, Serpent, Fawn, or Rush of Wings. Because there are other books that I wrote down that I'm really excited for. Now, if I do this, it then means I have to add an extra book on this month, and that will be in complete control of Arvin. He will be able to completely choose. But I'm going to do it. So I'm going to have a look at my lists of books and pick one from here. Now, Irvin does not have to pick one from here, and this means adding an extra book on. So technically that's 9 books this month. Hold on. I got 7. I got 7 books here. And then my blind date 8 and then 9. Now, I don't force myself to read every single book if I'm not in the mood. I don't force myself to do it. I just move past it and I'll try and add it onto my next TBR. However, this month I am going to try and read all the books that I have. But I am thinking about switching one. Now, I could either pick 3 and let Arvin choose out of the 3. Or I could let him pick next book. So what I'm going to do is we'll just have a little look. How's that? I'm going to put this on here. Now I could just do it to where instead of add an extra book on, I get Irvin to pick out of these ones. And the ones that I've chosen is Good as Dead, new book, which means a book that comes out in March so I can read. A Narrow Door, which is, you know, the book I really want to read, or Deadly Education. I think the book I'm going to switch it for will be this one. No. I don't know.
You've made your choice.
No, I'm thinking Girl Serpent Fawn instead. No, I think I should try Girl Serpent Fawn. What do you think? Which one would you say to switch it between these three?
Try Girl Serpent Fawn.
You don't think I should get with that one?
No.
Okay, so we're keeping that one. And then out of these two.
Why am I making a choice? Try Brush of Wings.
Okay. So the one we're going to switch it for is Just Haven't Met You Yet. Now I have to pick out of these. Now I could say new book. Which I could.
Or I can just get rid of it.
What? Excuse me.
Nope.
Okay, so I think I am going to go with a new book. So there's quite a few books coming out next month, and I'm just hoping that they come out on time. And I think the choices I'm going to go with either You've Reached Sam or C.E. Schwab's new book, Gallant. It'd be one of those books. I'll put them up here, and that's the book that I'm going to replace Just Haven't Met You Yet. Now, because I have done that, Irvin gets to go to my shelf and pick any book. So it's basically meaning I got 9 books to read this month. So why did I? Oh my gosh. See, there's one book he's been wanting me to read for ages. Okay, so because I decided to replace the book, obviously I've got to pick one, and that one is...
Ha! Ha!
Why? I thought you were going to pick Deadly Education, to be honest.
Yeah, I knew you were going to think that.
Okay, he picked Just My Luck, which is about... You know what it's about. What's it about, Evan, since you're so obsessed with this?
It's about... For 15 years, Lexi and Jake have played the same 6 numbers with their friends. The Pearsons and the Heathcotes. Over dining... Oh my god. Over dinner parties, fish and chip suppers, and summer barbecues, they discuss the important stuff. Kids, marriages, jobs, and houses. And they've laughed of their disappointment when they failed to win anything more than a tenner. But then, one Saturday night, the unthinkable happens. The unthinkable happens. There's a rift in the group. Someone doesn't tell the truth. And soon after, 6 numbers come up, which change everything forever. Lexi and Jake have a ticket worth 18 million, and their friends are determined to claim a share of it.
Yeah, it does sound really good, and Irvin's been... Like, this is bought for him, though, like... But, you know what? It does sound really, really good. So, yeah. So, let's go through the books that I'm reading this month. Like I said, I do try my best to read every single one of these books. Obviously, my blind date book has to kind of come first, because that's for a series. And I'm going to try and get through all of these, because, I mean, there's a big chunk of one on here now and now. So, yeah, the books that I'm reading this month are The Island Home, which I've already started, got an early start on it. A Flicker in the Dark, Rush of Wings,
Russian Wings.
Just My Luck, Bonecryer's Moon, Girl Serpent Fawn, and the final one is House of Sky and Breath. So, you know what? Not a bad pick for March. I feel like March is much longer as well than March is much longer than February, so I should be able to get 9 books done. I guess it's kind of like a little challenge. That's all the books I'm going to read for this month. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and this way of me choosing my book. If you did, then definitely hit that like button because it would help so much. But until my next video, bye!
Bye!